What is going on out there, followers, listeners, viewers, whatever you're doing when you come to my YouTube? It's me, Miles. I know it's been a minute, but hey, in my defense, I don't always have things to talk about. But today I figured I would just kind of dredge up, not the best word, but dredge up some of the stuff that I've talked about before, mainly in my blog, because that was all in text, and if you don't want to read it, well, hey, you're going to hear it from my mouth so you have my opinion on it without having to, well, read. As I just said, this is a video blog, of course, so I figured this would be a good way to get some topics because I don't want to just have this YouTube page sitting or just have it with uploaded videos because I am trying to do more than that and I am trying to get more content out there. So today's topic at hand is going to be one that was prevalent back when I first wrote the blog about it on my IGN blog in what 2014 I think, and now it's 2016. Video game delays. What is my opinion on video game delays? Um, if you watch the Mong podcast, you might think that I don't like them. You might think that I'm completely against them, mainly because of the situation with The Last Guardian, like the most, not the most delayed game in history. I think that's probably Duke Nukem. But The Last Guardian is a game that just it just keeps getting delayed, and I hate that it keeps getting delayed. But it's not because of the delay. It's not because I want to play it. It's actually just because I'm really tired about hearing of it. So that is why I don't like that delay. But in terms of most delays, I actually think that it's probably for the best. I know that might be a little bit of a controversial opinion. Don't get me wrong, I'm a gamer too. I want to play these games as much as you do. But if you think about it, these people that are delaying it and making that decision are the people that are actually working on it and the people that know intricately what's going on with it. They know what's good, what's bad. They know what's wrong. They know what's going right. They know what they need to do to hit that mark that they want to on release. And they probably also have your best interest in mind, and they probably don't want to release something that you're going to play and be like, well, there's so much that could have been fixed about this. This is awful. This is trash. This is a dumpster fire, and not the good one like kind of funny. This is just a dumpster fire. Um, and they know that they're aware, and they also know that this is their livelihood. They're aware that it is what they need to bring out and what they need to produce if they want you to keep following them. But let's be realistic. They also are just aware that if they release trash, they're not going to get that support. They're not going to keep the fans. They're not going to keep the followers. And we kind of, as gamers, it's really sad when you hear about gamers that either let's use No Man's Sky for example, either message the person that reported on the story and send them death threats, or even worse, send the developers themselves death threats. That's ridiculous. You have to know this as a human being. It's ridiculous to send someone a death threat, regardless, and even more ridiculous when it's about a video game. I love games. You love games. I figure since you're here, unless you're one of the random people that are just supporting me, which I really appreciate. Don't get me wrong, but that's silly. You shouldn't be threatening another person's life unless short of them threatening your life and actually about to act on it. I would not threaten another person's life. It's just not good. It's not really an intelligent thing to do, and it just makes you look bad. And it makes gamers as a whole look bad, unfortunately. But the point is that when Sean Murray made that, and when No Man's Sky, I should say, or Hello Games made the decision to delay No Man's Sky, or any situation where a game has been delayed, it's because they know what's going on. They know that it needs better work. They know it needs to get those moving parts working better together, or whatever the problem is. But they're aware that you want it. They're not just holding it back from you for the sake of holding it back from you. That's a ridiculous standpoint to think of, and getting angry over delay is just unintelligent. Usually, a delay will lead to a game being strictly better than it would have been if they had released it at the time that you wanted it, pretty much. And wants hurt. You want something, yeah. I want a lot of things too. It hurts. That's what a want is. It's not necessary, and wanting a game to come out when earlier than it's planned to, just because of delay, that that's not enough reason. They, wanting something does not make it good. Unfortunately, it'd be wonderful if wanting a piece of cake made it healthy for you, or wanting the next big video game title made it work and made it just, hey, there you go. We weren't done developing it, but it's out, it's ready. So the question stands: is do you want a game that is not done, one that is going to be glitchy, one that's going to cause you so much consternation and anger and just vex you completely? Or do you want something that is as finished of an experience as that developer is going to be able to give you with the timetables that they have essentially. Now, I know that this does not extend to all titles. Some games come out and they should have been delayed, or some games get delayed and come out and they still aren't that good. We're talking about Duke Nukem again. That's what I'm talking about, just because, 20 years and they couldn't get that one right. But it's just how it is, folks. Delays need to happen most of the time. I cannot think of a time where a game has been delayed and it's just been absolutely like, wait, wait, no, that shouldn't have been delayed. That shouldn't have been. Duke Nukem, it should have been delayed. Because, I mean, they were trying to fix it. They were trying to actually make it, considering all the, passing around and just fumbles that happened with that title over its 20-year development cycle, moving between companies and such. Games like The Last Guardian. I don't know why they delayed that. I don't look into that, but I'm sure it's a very good reason for it. Simply because they know that the hype is real. They know that there are people who have been waiting years to play that. They know that people are really excited to play that. But there's a reason. These people that make us our video games, the people that make us our biggest hobbies, they're not stupid. They're 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 thinking about everything. They're thinking about the money that they're losing if they don't release it. They're thinking about the expectations of people. They're thinking about it all. Really, I guarantee you they are, because if they're not going to stay in business for long, and then you won't really have to worry about it because they won't be making games anymore, unfortunately. And of course, that's a very harsh statement, but it could be true, but it might not be. I don't know. It's probably true that if a company does not think about every aspect of its release and what has to happen and what they need to see and what they want to see and what they expect to see, they're probably not going to survive. And especially considering how cutthroat the video game world is at this point, it's not going to look good for them if they're just like, whatever, you know. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. Yeah, why not? Delay it. Delay it because we're being lazy. It's not because they're being lazy. Come on. You know that. So I just figured I would address that because, as I said in the beginning, it is a very prevalent thing that continues to happen and will never stop happening. I mean, I am actually expecting The Last Guardian to get delayed again, honestly, just because part of it's a funny joke in my head. It's like, Last Guardian. They say it's going to come out next month. It's not going to come out next month. It's going to be like 2 years from now. Part of me actually kind of thinks that it's a joke, but part of me, it's like there's a little nugget of truth in there where it's like they keep delaying it. I mean, eh. And at this point, it is kind of like, a developer has to bring some kind of release window forth, and it's good that they do because then at least we have some kind of idea. But I don't know. That seems like a topic for another video, just release windows in general, because I don't know. It seems like a lot of companies are kind of. It seems better not to release a actual release window. I feel like you shouldn't do that until you've gone gold. Um, Maybe just like give, okay, I'm misspeaking, but give a release window of like, hey, it'll be out this year. And when I say this year, I don't mean somebody talking like, oh yeah, it's summer and we just started developing this, it'll be out before the end of the year. No, that's unintelligent. You need to be like, that's going to be out next year. Let's be honest. At the earliest, it's going to be out next year. I guess I feel like when a game goes gold, that's when they need to start thinking about, oh, okay, now we need to come up with a release date because now it's actually done. I don't know. I will admit I'm not the most well versed in the development process. I still stand on my beliefs of what I've said already. Maybe going gold is a little late in the process, but I'm sure someone who's a developer could chime in and say no, we it should be like I'm sure there's a window in development where it's like, okay, at this point it's too late to start trying to release something or um, trying to get out a release date, but I'm sure it's a little bit later than what people are trying to do these days, where it seems like they show it off at E3 and they immediately have a date, which is just the most unintelligent thing I've seen. And I'm sure it's going to be. I'm sure developers are going to pick up on it, and they're going to be like, oh, this is a trend, where people show off their game at E3 or whatever, and then it's immediately just the next day essentially is like, well, we thought it was going to be out right then, but it's not. It'll be like next year or a year from now, or you know, 2 years from now, or 20 years maybe. Uh, eh? So yeah, got a little off topic, but that's my opinion on delays. They're usually necessary. They're usually decisions made by people who are much more, you know, well versed and intimate in what the topic is, as in the game that they themselves are working on. And I understand being a fan. I understand wanting that game more than anything. But as gamers, our community can be toxic sometimes, and we have to realize that we gotta lay off sometimes. Now, if a game comes out and is absolute trash, I would expect you to say it's absolute trash. But just because the developer says they're going to delay something doesn't mean that you have the right to get all up in arms and pick up your pitchforks and start typing in all caps and all that nonsense. Um, that's that's just my honest opinion, and I figured it was rather topical. But if you don't agree, or if you do agree, you know, talk to me in the comments. Tell me what you think about video game delays and all that good stuff. Now, for the least topical part of this podcast, tomorrow is the PlayStation conference meeting thing. It's called the PlayStation meeting. It's happening randomly. It's probably going to be an announcement of the Neo and an announcement of the Slim, even though people already know that exists. Maybe an announcement of the PlayStation Vita 2, if that's what they call it. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. And we don't really know what else. Now, I would like to say I'll be there and I'll be like live tweeting or something. I will probably still be live tweeting Furious Milk, but I will not be there live. But hey, I'm gonna have a reactions either tomorrow night, I guess, or the day after. It all depends on timing of everything. But I plan to have a reaction for you. Um, and by reaction, I'm literally just gonna get a bullet point list and talk about the things they announced and be like, hey, that's cool. Hey, that's not cool. Hey, that beat the Scorpio. Hey, I kind of hope they beat the Scorpio because I always like having the better system. I like PlayStation more. Let's be honest, PlayStation's better. But I digress. I hope you all enjoy this video. I hope you all enjoyed hearing a little bit about what my opinions are, considering that this is my YouTube channel and that is what you're probably going to hear during my vlogs. Um, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's Furious Milk. If you want to find me on Twitch, it's Firebird Mantooth. All that information is down there in the description, so you can check that out. And please hit the like button if you enjoyed this. And if not, hey, thank you for watching, and I hope you watch more. Maybe I can win you over. Maybe. My game clips are kind of funny. Go check those out.